Okay guys, today I'll teach you how you can create a tripwire to automatically power up your defences and release loads of ghouls or whatever on your attackers. It does both of these at the same time, from the same tripwire. I'm going to adjust my existing setup to show you this. I'll need a terminal just to show you that this works, nothing to do with the setup itself. Also some more pylons, but you could use other connectors for this. An extra 3 in a line, connect them together, and then over here. This turret isn't needed, so I'll get rid of it and remove this old connector. Anyway, here's what lies beyond this gate. Let's make this so anything will set off the tripwire, not just hostile. Then I will store the terminal. I like to have a speaker to alert me to people when people trip the wire, so I'll connect that. You could use a siren instead, but it's a little bit buggy when you do that. Okay, this isn't the best place. That's better. Right, open the gate so I can show you in a minute. Ghoul cages are both here, although Preston, what are you doing? Preston! Bloody idiot! Well, you saw it releases the ghoul at least, and all the traps go off, and turret came on. So this is a practical demo. Planned, obviously. Yeah.
Hey,
Stay there.
I'll stand ready.
Can't remember the last time I had clean.
Anyway, I'll go back into workshop mode to show you why that worked. Thanks, Preston. Into workshop. Oh, why can't I go? Come on. Ron, stop it. There we go. Workshop mode. Let's prepare that turret. It took quite a beating from the ghoul. My speaker didn't work, but I'll show you why in a minute. Let's turn this back on. Turret goes off because power has been diverted elsewhere. I trip it. Turret comes on. See? This speaker came on instead of the other, so let's get rid of that. Power is now with this one. Let's reset the wire. No noise, no turret. For a full demo, I should repair all of this. Right now, these two ghoul cages have power to them, so they can catch ghouls. When the tripwire is set off, it will divert power instead to the turret and speaker. This cuts off power to the cages, releasing whatever is inside. See? No power, no turret or speaker, because it's going to the cages. Let's do something silly and set these off. Okay, traps go off. You can hear the speaker and hopefully you can see the turret turning there. Yep, all going off again. That tone is annoying. Is there a less annoying one? That's worse. Okay, stick with that. Close the gates so you can see the enclosed area and repair everything. Now we're ready for those attackers. Cheers, you dead git. So, you know all this works. Let's see why. You don't need 2 turrets. I meant to remove that earlier. So there's 1 generator. It gives me 3 power for whatever it's connected to. That's all we have to play with in this example. Remember, we only have 3 power. That has a wire. Goes to conduit number 1. Wire goes to a switch that will call conduit number 2. It's a switch because in the beginning I was going to have a switch to release the ghouls, but that's not cool enough, frankly, and I wanted this automatic. Wire to pylon, I'll call that conduit 3. Same, conduit number 4. Same, conduit number 5. Wire goes to an actual conduit, 6. Conduit 7, down to the ghoul cages, one of which is technically conduit 8, as it carries power to the next one, 9. The power is only going here because the tripwire is stopping it from going anywhere else. Let's check the other path the wire takes. From generator, wire to conduit 1. Conduit 2 is hard to see, hang on. It's from here to here. Top one is conduit 2. Conduit 3 is the wire. Ooh, careful. The power stops here because that's what the tripwire does. When it's tripped, it will power up these traps. That's a side note, it's just again something else I wanted to be in there. When tripped, it will divert the power away from these cages, thereby opening them. Right now this tripwire is pivotal. It will power up these traps when tripped. It will also send power back up here to conduit 4, 5, 6, 7 is the turret. Logically, it's closer on a circuit than the cages. The power is already with the turret, and it becomes conduit for the speaker 8. If you trip that wire, it will send power to the closest powered items. That's how electricity works. But it doesn't work on distance here, it works on conduits, or connectors, or steps. So it's still logical and something you can plan for. You just need to make sure you divert the power away to something closer when the wire is tripped. Codsworth, don't you dare. You might still be wondering, yes Greg, you diverted power to the turret and speaker, but why did the power to the traps stop, thereby opening them? Well, you clever people, you have a good question. But before I answer that, I should turn this back to only killing hostiles so Codsworth doesn't get fried. Set trigger, hostiles only. There, and now store the terminal. See, this speaker takes 1 power and the turret takes 2 power. The tripwire switches on the power to these, remember that. The cages don't have a specific drain on power, they are just a lot like the lights. So they just need power going through them, which they would have if we had more than 3 power. The turret and speaker are taking it all up, so there's none left for the cages, because they are nearer on the steps. Do not store. Although, weirdly, you have to make sure the power is completely drained for this to work. I do this by adding another speaker, knowing it won't be powered at all because there's not 4 power to play with. That's the only way to make the game realise the power is completely drained. There we have it. I hope this made sense. I seem to have some electricity floating. That doesn't make sense. Hang on. That's the bright idea sparking above my head. Nice. Anyway, in my this video is actually from a while ago. In my new settlement, I haven't just got one generator there. I've got a couple of generators producing 6. You could go for the medium generator, which produces 5, or you could go for the big one. You just have to make sure that whatever you've got uses up all of the power that is available, so it doesn't go to the cages anymore. And remember, it needs to use it all up, and it needs to be nearer on the circuit, but after the tripwire. So the tripwire gets tripped, and it sends it to the closest place, which is away from the cages to your turrets and everything else. In my new in my new version of this, I actually have a powered bulb. I have a red cycling bulb that powers on, so from a distance I can see it's red. I've got the speaker. You can use a siren for that if you prefer, but I've got a speaker that comes on, so I can hear the annoying beep from quite far away. And I've got a couple of turrets as well. So I've got quite a few bits and pieces. And I've also got it on a couple of other entrances into Sanctuary as well. So do with this what you want, and enjoy. Make loads of traps, and you get those bastards.
This time.